In the Good News Bible, Proverbs 29:25 says, "It is dangerous to be concerned with what others think of you. If you trust the Lord, you're safe." And I've kind of took that verse and prayed about it, thought about it before every game, and just realized who I'm playing for. And I think the audience of one thing really has a different meaning when you truly believe it.
We have 3 children, and he stood out because he was competitive from the get-go. When he was in kindergarten, he just knew he was going to win the race that the school was running. So that means he's running against 5th graders when he's a kindergartner. They said, go. Well, he bolted out in front of the 5th graders. You know, I am going to win this race. And you could just see in his face, that's Zach Cleveland. I'm going to win.
Zach clearly had a love for sport and competition that would be on full display from a young age.
He sat and watched me coach basketball, and what I found unique about him, he didn't sit and get it bored and play with the toys on the side. He was at the baseline watching the practice.
I would be like 6 years old and just sitting in the sideline watching 2-hour practices, like with my mouth open, drooling, like watching just them run through plays and stuff like that. So I think I've always had that love for basketball.
And Zach didn't just have love for the game, he had the talent to go with it.
In 7th, 8th grade, when he was getting more involved in AAU activities and you could see that he belonged out there, he always made his teammates better. And he always made his team better when he was out there. And I thought, well, he'll find a place. If he wants to play, he'll find a place on a team.
It wouldn't be until Zach's sophomore season of high school, in the midst of the COVID pandemic, that he would catch the eye of Liberty Associate head coach Derek Johnston.
I do remember the clip where I'm like, yeah, that dude can see. He knows how to play. Someone throws it to him, the ball barely touches his hands, and he quick one more. So I'm like, yeah, he can see. And then you keep watching and you see his competitiveness, his athleticism, his toughness. I was like, yeah, I think he's one of us.
And they recruited me hard after that. But it was all phone calls. No one ever got to see me play in person. And so I still remember one specific moment was when they were in March Madness about to play Oklahoma State in the bubble or whatever it kind of was.
Derek called and said, would you do a Zoom call with us while we're at the NCAA tournament? And I just thought, that seems weird.
I mean, there's not a much better recruiting tool than like, hey, we're at the tournament, look at us, you know?
When we got off the call, I remember saying, the coaches, I can't believe they took their time away from watching film to do a Zoom call with us.
That was pretty intentional, I felt like, and I felt like that showed how much they wanted me. And so that was a big kind of part of my recruitment process where I was like, well, these guys really want me.
But soon Zach discovered that the exhilaration of playing Division I basketball would also come with plenty of frustration, namely in the form of external pressures and criticism that could easily bring him down.
A player like him who has such expectations for himself, obviously for our team, in a public position, you're just getting an onslaught of things all the time. I think all of us, we're in a performance-based industry, so it's hard. Like, how do we live in that friction?
If you live by their praises, you'll die by their criticism. That's what Coach McKay always told us. And I felt that in full blast because the applause felt so good, but then you have a bad game, you look on social media and that eats you up. And that feeling was one of the worst feelings I've had in my life.
And so, knowing that something needed to change, at the end of the 2023-24 season, Zach surrendered to a purpose bigger than basketball.
Particularly over the past year, I think his faith has really grown a lot.
Just being able to find something to put my hope in, and I started believing what God said about me and really reading, writing down like who God says I am. Once I started believing that, like my life completely changed. I think you could kind of see it on the court this year. Just the joy I'm having.
To Cleveland, dumps it right down the paint.
I see him being at peace, and then I actually see him love the game more because it doesn't bring him the frustration, and that's what's so refreshing.
There's a statement you'll hear around our program, like, it's not truth that transforms, it's trusted truth. And he has the audacity now to operate out of his convictions. And it's been really cool to see those things grow together with his competitiveness, his ability to be a thermostat. He has such influence for our team and our campus, and it's easy to know why when you get around him.
There's no better feeling than becoming the person that God's created you to be. And I think I was way off track my first couple years, and so I'm finally starting to see that path, the narrow road, and being able to live in that.